Mark, good to see you. Let's start with a common question. Should I tap my retirement accounts to pay off my mortgage? A lot of people want to go into retirement debt-free, which is why paying off your mortgage becomes a very common financial goal. But before you write the final check, you recommend crunching the numbers and thinking through some unforeseen consequences. So let's do that. And let's start though. Should you even consider paying off your mortgage before retiring? Should that be a goal?
Well, this is really a great question. And actually, it's a question I get all the time.
Yeah.
But really, the answer is it depends.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on a number of factors. What's your mortgage interest rate? What's your retirement income cash flow? How much do you actually have in retirement? But we have to remember with retirement income planning, the most important thing is cash flow. And if
Right.
we pay off our house, the money in our house is now equity and it doesn't produce cash flow
Right.
unless we try to get a loan to get it out in the future. And with a lot of people, when they have no wage income, it's really hard to qualify to do that.
hmm So how do you help people balance then the numbers on the spreadsheet versus how paying off a mortgage makes you feel?
Well, yeah, you're right. I think if we look back, we're all indoctrinated into paying off your house in retirement, having
Right.
no debt, right? But if we have a very low interest rate and we could run the numbers and say, okay, well, if you take this money from your IRA, there's pros and cons. Here's the consequence. You're going to pay a lot of taxes. So if you need to net out 100,000, you might have to take 130,000. It may be throwing you up into much higher tax brackets and having some other impacts. Plus, it's taking away from your retirement cash flow. But you're going to have peace of mind that you paid your mortgage off. So let's run that scenario versus maybe a scenario where we accelerate payments over time to get that paid off faster, or actually just invest the money that we were going to take if it came out of our cash bucket, invest it in the stock market. And if we can get a higher return than the loan rate, it's called arbitrage. And at the end of 10 years, we can decide if we want to pay that house off or not. And we're going to have more real wealth and more real net spendable cash flow.
hmm Well, let's say that, I walk into your office and I really want to pay off this mortgage. I see this great big bucket of tax deferred money. Let's talk through some of those unforeseen pitfalls. You mentioned large withdrawals from retirement accounts can create tax issues, also reducing liquidity, which you were mentioning as well, and even increase Medicare premiums.
Yeah, so we have to remember if we're over 65 and we're on Medicare, there are income limits where we go into what's called IRMA.
Yep.
And granted, this may be temporary, but it's going to be for, some people are going, well, okay, right now I'm paying about 200, what is it, 202, 205 per month. There's some people that if you're in IRMA because you're showing more income because you had to take that big distribution, you're now paying over $400 a month for Medicare. So by doing all this, it may be counterproductive to what you thought was going to be your reality.
Right. No, one domino certainly hits another. I understand, as you mentioned, Mark, this is something that a lot of people want to do. Sometimes when we crunch the numbers, it can make us feel a little bit different about the answer. So if somebody would like to sit down with you, talk through whether paying off their mortgage should be a goal of theirs and how to make it happen, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, so the best way to reach us is just give us a phone call, 303-681-0113. And anybody from our team would love to chat with you. We can set up a Zoom call, in-person appointment, or even a phone call. But I think, yeah, you've got to open the window, look at all your options, and then you can decide which is the best way to go. Now, you can also go to our website, mcgregorwealth.com. There's a number of different resources you can get there. And also there is a link to my schedule where you can easily schedule that appointment or that Zoom call or whatever you'd like to do.
Right. Very important. Mark, thank you very much for your time today.
Okay, well, thank you, Aaron.